Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, welcome to the first session in our course in which we are going to be defining together the concept of artificial intelligence. So, defining the concept of artificial intelligence in your own way, not in the way it has been defined by research or by other people, it's very important to draft a definition of artificial intelligence that reflects your own understanding of the concept. And that is your starting point to the AI-powered mindset. Okay, so think about this. If you Google the term artificial intelligence, just browse it the same way you do it. I mean, if you're still actually browsing and like pretty much everybody else do it, and you have not yet started actually browsing through artificial intelligence. So if you Google the term artificial intelligence, you might have hundreds, tens and hundreds of slightly different definitions of artificial intelligence. But I want to help you to draft your own definition of the concept. When I do in my lectures and seminars and conferences, a lot of my clients, they ask me the question, how would you define artificial intelligence? And this question have struck me for the last 7 years. I've been working on artificial intelligence. And honestly, for me, the easiest way to define artificial intelligence would be the capacity of the machine to mimic complex human behavior. So if we take a moment here and we look at the term artificial intelligence, we will see clearly that there are two blocks. So there is artificial on one side and there is intelligence on the other. So if we look at the term artificial intelligence for a second, we will see that there are two main blocks. So the first block is artificial and the second block is intelligence. Intelligence by itself, it's purely human character. And what we're trying to do through artificial intelligence is that we're trying to create an artificial version of human intelligence. So basically, to simplify this, what we're trying to do is that when human beings try to perform their tasks, so in their daily jobs, in their just doing what they do in their lives, basically they do different kind of tasks. And in those tasks, some of them are fun, some of them are easy, some of them are more difficult, and some of them are boring, but others could be completely like painful, or they can cause sufferings or negative emotions, etc. So what we're trying to do actually is that, it's kind of a little bit funny because we are trying to take all the tasks which cause negative emotions, which cause friction, which cause pain to the human being, and we're trying to divert them and dedicate them to the artificial intelligence. So basically what we're trying to do here, this is a term that I call AI slavery. So we are basically slavering the artificial intelligence. So we're taking all those tasks which are not fun, not enjoyable, which cause pain and suffering, and we're giving it to artificial intelligence. But the good news is that AI has no feeling. Artificial intelligence is not capable of feeling. Artificial intelligence is not capable of feeling the suffering and the pain. And considering that, it's still okay to give the AI agents those bad tasks. They can take care of them.
Have you seen those images online that look so real? They're kind of creepy. Or maybe you've played with one of those AI writing tools, like ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is generative AI. And today, we're going to do a deep dive into generative AI.
Yeah, sounds good.
What it is, how it works, and why everybody's talking about it.
Right.
So we talk about AI a lot,
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence. What exactly are we talking about when we talk about AI?
Well, at a really basic level, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about teaching computers to do things that usually require human intelligence, like problem solving or decision making, things like that.
Right.
But when we're talking about generative AI, it's kind of a step beyond that.
Okay.
So instead of just analyzing information that's already there, generative AI actually creates new content based on what it's learned. Mm-hmm.
So that could be anything from, text, images, music, even videos. It's pretty amazing.
So it's almost as if we've taught computers to be creative.
That's a really good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it like how an artist learns, right?
Yeah.
An artist might study hundreds or thousands of paintings
Right.
to develop their own style.
Right.
Generative AI, it kind of works in a similar way. It learns from these massive data sets, but instead of brushstrokes, it's analyzing patterns in data. So it might look at the statistical relationship between words and text, or how pixels are arranged in images, or even the sequence of notes in a piece of music.
So when you say patterns, are we talking about like formulas?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Not exactly. It's not so much about following a strict formula. It's more about understanding like the underlying structure and relationships within the data. So different models, they use different techniques to do this. And one that's really popular is called GANs, generative adversarial networks. Have you heard of those?
I have heard of those.
Yeah. And basically how they work is it's kind of like a competition between two AI systems.
Okay.
So you have one that's generating content and you have another one that's judging it based on the data it's been trained on.
Okay.
And so the generator keeps trying to create content that can fool the discriminator. And that process of like back and forth, it helps the generator get better and better at creating new and realistic content.
So it's really not about like plugging in a formula. It's more about this massive amount of data and these patterns that it's recognizing.
Exactly. It's like it's learning the rules of the game, so to speak, by studying countless examples. And, that also kind of explains why some AI-generated content can be mind-blowingly good, while other stuff can be, a little weird or even nonsensical.
Yeah, for sure.
It all comes down to the quality and the quantity of the data it's been trained on.
Right. Well, and speaking of AI-generated content, one that's been in the news a lot lately is ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And that seems to be like a really good example of generative AI in action.
It's a perfect example, yeah. Like, I mean, basically, you can think of it like a chatbot, but it's not just any chatbot. This one can generate different creative text formats, like based on your input, right?
Right.
It can help you draft an email. It can write different kinds of creative content, like poems, code, scripts, musical pieces even.
It's almost like you have an assistant that can help you like brainstorm ideas in real time.
Exactly. It's like having a brainstorming partner on demand 24/7. And it's not just limited to writing. I mean, musicians, for example, are using generative AI to help them break through creative blocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then fashion designers are using it to generate new design ideas. It's really kind of seeping into every industry.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of fashion, I actually read recently that Zara is using generative AI to design clothing, which I thought was really interesting.
It's amazing. And it makes sense. I mean, fashion is all about trends, right?
Right.
And analyzing data. So Zara is using generative AI to do just that.
Okay.
They're basically feeding the AI tons of data about past designs, current trends, even customer preferences, you know?
Right.
And the AI takes all that information and generates new designs, often in a fraction of the time it would take a human team.
Wow. So it's not just fashion, though, right? I mean, this technology is being used in all sorts of fields.
It's everywhere.
Like, for example, healthcare.
Oh, huge in healthcare. Yeah, one really promising area is in medical documentation. So you know how doctors have to take all those notes?
Right.
Well, now there are AI systems that can take those notes and generate really detailed patient reports. And this is huge because it not only saves doctors a ton of time, it also reduces the risk of errors.
Wow. That's incredible. What about education? I mean, are we seeing it being used in education as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's being used in education in some pretty cool ways. Like, for example, teachers are using AI to create personalized learning materials for their students.
Okay.
So imagine instead of having a one-size-fits-all textbook,
Right.
every student gets materials that are tailored to their specific learning style, their pace, their strengths and their weaknesses.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So it sounds like overall generative AI has the potential to like really revolutionize like how we work, not even in just one industry, but across industries.
I think that's the most exciting thing about it, is that it's not limited to one specific domain. We're talking about everything from, like you said, healthcare to education to art and music. It's really kind of blurring the lines between what humans can do and what machines can do. And I think ultimately, the goal is to make our lives easier, right? Make things more efficient, more creative.
Right.
And open up possibilities that we might not have even thought of before.
Well, it's definitely a fascinating topic and something that I think is going to continue to change and evolve really rapidly.
For sure, yeah.
So as we kind of wrap things up here, any final thoughts?
I think if there's one thing I would say, it's that generative AI, it's not something that's way off in the future.
Right.
This is happening now. Like, you can go online right now and interact with these AI tools. So I think it's important for everyone to kind of stay informed, educate themselves, and, approach these advancements like with a critical and discerning eye.
Yeah, and just kind of see, I guess, like where it goes, right?
Exactly. I mean, this is really just the beginning.
Well, that was a great conversation. Thank you so much for diving deep with us into the world of generative AI. And for our listeners, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
And we will see you next time.
See you later.
So following on our discussion on concept of artificial intelligence and how the designers of AI in the first place, they were actually trying to spot the most complex and non-fun, non-enjoyable tasks, and also most painful tasks that human beings do in their jobs and in their lives, and try to dedicate them to the artificial intelligence, to the robots, to the algorithms, to the machines. So a very important starting point into building that AI-powered mindset that we were talking about at the beginning is to understand the essence of artificial intelligence. And that, understanding the essence of artificial intelligence, starts by understanding what it can do and what it cannot do. So what are its limitations and what are its unique capabilities? So first of all, I will assure all of you who might have been hearing that AI is going to steal my job, AI is going to be ruling the world, AI is going to take over. Don't worry about it, because a fundamental thing when it comes to artificial intelligence is that AI, first of all, is not conscious. It's not aware. It has no consciousness in the sense that humans have it. So when you think about the AI, you have to think of it not from the perspective of a human being, but from a perspective of a machine. So first of all, AI has no consciousness. The second important point is that AI has no feelings. It's not capable of feeling, from the same perspective we see it for humans. So that's assuring in the sense that AI has no notion of bad and good the same way we humans have it, but it just learned that from whatever data set and trainings it has been provided. So those are very important elements. Two things. AI is not capable of being conscious and aware of its environment. And the second thing is that AI is not capable of feeling. Now, the silver lining is that while these elements represent what AI is not capable of doing, now AI is capable of doing a lot of things that actually humans cannot. The first thing is that AI is capable of processing tremendous amounts of data. Much more, much beyond what humans can do. The second point is that AI is capable of making predictions, and specifically making predictions in the future. AI is capable of self-learning from whatever data it is provided, and AI is capable of making decisions. But these unique capabilities, the self-learning, the predictions, the decision-making, you can see them in actual products which are based and driven by artificial intelligence. Like a straightforward example for that would be Tesla cars. The self-driving autonomous capabilities that the Tesla car has, for instance, it's based on the fact that the AI system is capable of making future predictions, and by scanning the environment of the car through all the scanners, etc., making the difference between an actual human being, between an obstacle, between other cars, and all that kind of other information which the AI has to support while the car is being driven. And the second point is that the AI is capable of making decisions in an automated, autonomous way. So, which means that they are being self-driven, it will decide to actually stop in the red light. The car being self-driven, it will decide when actually to increase the speed, when to lower the speed, when to push the accelerator, when to push the brakes, etc. But this big important difference between what us as people we can do and what AI can and cannot do is very important, because at the end of the day, it's not about a competition, it's about a collaboration. AI-powered mindset is about achieving that explosive cocktail when you couple your capabilities, your skills, your knowledge, your credentials as a human being, as a person, like everything you have learned throughout all the years that you have lived so far, working in different places, traveling into different places, reading different books, different things, different information, and then coupling that with the unique capabilities of artificial intelligence. Capability of feeling, distinguishing between the bad and the wrong, and having the morals in all this. And that will lead you into becoming an AI-powered person with an AI-powered mindset.
Artificial intelligence is often seen as a superhuman force, capable of incredible feats. Take pattern recognition, for instance. Imagine being a financial analyst sifting through mountains of data to predict stock market trends. It's a daunting task, right? But AI can process millions of data points in seconds, spotting patterns and correlations that would take us ages to uncover. However, it's essential to remember that AI has its limits. While it excels in data analysis, it struggles with creativity and emotional understanding. It can't replicate the human touch in art, or the nuances of a heartfelt conversation. So, while AI is a powerful tool, it's not a replacement for human intuition and creativity. Understanding these strengths and weaknesses is key to harnessing AI effectively. Take Google Maps, for instance. Every time you ask for the fastest route, AI is processing real-time traffic data from millions of devices to find the best path. In healthcare, AI systems trained on medical images are now outperforming doctors in detecting cancers like breast and lung cancer at early stages. Then there's automation. Tasks that once took hours, like sorting emails or tagging images, are now done effortlessly by AI. Businesses use chatbots to engage customers, answer queries, and resolve complaints, freeing up human employees for more complex tasks. But AI has its limitations. It struggles with context. It recognizes patterns, but doesn't truly understand nuances. For example, it might suggest improvements to a resume, but can't grasp why one skill is more valuable in a career trajectory. And when it comes to creativity, despite generative AI models composing music or writing stories, they lack imagination and intuition. We still rely on human innovation in art, design, and science. AI is powerful, but it's not a replacement for the human touch. AI is only as good as the data it's trained on, and that brings us to a critical issue: bias. Take hiring, for example. An AI system once favored male candidates simply because it learned from biased historical data. This highlights why ethical AI development is essential. AI doesn't just learn, it learns from us. Now, let's look at healthcare. AI has made strides in diagnosing diseases, but it's not without its pitfalls. One AI designed to detect pneumonia excelled in some hospitals, but faltered in others. Why? It focused on specific hospital factors, instead of the actual medical condition. Ultimately, AI should complement human judgment, not replace it. It's a powerful tool for data processing and pattern recognition, but it still needs our creativity and critical thinking to guide it. Understanding this balance is key as we navigate the future of AI.
Actually, the first questions that you face and you have to cope with when starting to use artificial intelligence is which tool I have to use. Now, I must say that offering of AI tools is extremely overwhelming. And I always actually think and like to make a parallel with Netflix. When you go into Netflix, Now, the most difficult thing when you are on Netflix is to choose what you want to watch. And it's just the amount of choice and alternatives, the options that you have, the different styles, the different themes, the different types of movies and series and documentaries, makes it very difficult for you actually to choose something which match your aspirations, your taste, your type of content. Actually, the same thing is happening in artificial intelligence. Now, there are hundreds, and I would say even thousands of AI tools which are out there. And that is creating a lot of noise. And there is actually a lot of marketing noise around it because it's a normal thing. You know, like people, when they build an AI system, they want to make money out of it. So everybody is trying to sell what they have been working on and what they have designed. And for us users, and I want to stimulate my capabilities by using artificial intelligence, I want to boost my performance by using AI, so I want to find the right tool. But it's extremely overwhelming with all the noise which is out there. So in this sense, my advice is it really does not matter, because that's not the most important thing. And one of the biggest mistakes that the beginner AI users make is that they think that they have, or they try to actually learn many different tools on the same time. That's not what it matters, because it's not about the technicalities of the tools, it's about the mindset of the artificial intelligence. And that's why I have designed and developed the AI-powered mindset framework and model to help people who would like to stimulate their capabilities to the fullest using artificial intelligence. So let me summarize to you what's going on now in the AI market. So basically there are two big categories when it comes to AI tools. We have, first of all, what we call the general purpose AI tools, and we have, second, the specific purpose AI tools. The general purpose AI tools, most people are more familiar with. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Llama. So those are, by the way, called large language models. Now, the second type of AI tools, those are AI tools which are based on AI algorithms which have been trained to actually serve specific tasks. And those could be AI tools for video generation, for audio generation, for music generation, for text generation, etc., etc. So they are more specific in the sense that they serve like a specific purpose.
In this video, we'll explore two major categories of generative AI tools. First, we'll break down large language models, LLMs, highlighting tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity. Next, we'll shift to other content creation tools, including DALL-E, Midjourney, Synthesia, and SoundRaw. Generative AI is reshaping how we interact with technology, making tasks faster, smarter, and more creative. But not all generative AI tools are the same. Let's dive into the differences between two broad categories: large language models, LLMs, and other content generation tools. First, let's talk about large language models, or LLMs. These are AI models designed to understand and generate human-like text based on vast amounts of language data. ChatGPT, one of the most widely used LLMs, is known for its conversational abilities. It's designed for general-purpose communication, coding assistance, and creative writing. Gemini emphasizes powerful real-time knowledge access, integrating with Google's search for fact-based responses. It's useful for research and precise, up-to-date answers. Claude focuses on providing reliable, ethical outputs. It's ideal for professionals concerned about responsible AI usage. Perplexity AI combines conversational AI with strong citation-based responses. This makes it suitable for research-oriented tasks. Now, let's shift our focus to tools that generate other types of content, like images, videos, and music. DALL-E generates stunning images based on text prompts. It's popular among artists, marketers, and designers for creating high-quality visuals. Midjourney creates more imaginative and stylized images, often leaning towards surreal or highly detailed artwork. It's favored by digital artists. Synthesia enables video content creation with talking avatars. It's ideal for professional training videos and educational content. SoundRaw generates customizable music tracks based on user preferences. It's useful for video producers, game developers, and musicians seeking AI-generated background music. Generative AI tools, whether LLMs or content creators, have distinct features and use cases. LLMs focus on text-based intelligence, while tools like DALL-E, Midjourney, Synthesia, and SoundRaw offer diverse creative outputs. Choose the right tool for your goals. Explore, experiment, and find the right generative AI tool that suits your needs. The AI world is vast, and the possibilities are endless.
Now, coming back to the question, which model should I choose? Or which AI tool should I choose given all the noise which is out there? So before we get into that, I would like to take a moment and try to understand what is a model and what is a large language model as a concept, because that's important into your artificial intelligence journey. Actually, when you think about it, there's different models, large language models. So ChatGPT, Llama, Gemini, etc. Overall, and what you want to keep in mind is that all these models, they pretty much function on the same way, and they are developed and designed following the same technology, which we call the Transformers architecture technology. Now, basically, what makes the difference in the performance and the functioning of these models is basically one important element, is the data set on which these models have been trained. Overall, I don't want to go into the technicalities, but overall the architecture of the model, the neural network design, parameters, the talk algorithms, etc., they are all following the same patterns. But except the thing which is making the biggest difference is the data set which was used to train these models. Now, there is a black box. We don't actually know what type of data sets were used to train these models. We don't know how big are these data sets are, and what do they include exactly, and where they come from exactly.
In this lesson, we'll start by defining what an AI model is. An AI model is a computer program trained to perform specific tasks by recognizing patterns in data. Next, we'll discuss large language models, LLMs, and how they work through next word prediction. Large language models, LLMs, are a type of AI model designed to understand and generate human-like text. They are trained on vast data sets of text to capture language patterns, grammar, and context. LLMs operate primarily through next word prediction. The model predicts the most likely word to come next based on the given input, using patterns learned during training. However, there is no clear consensus on exactly how they generate responses, as the reasoning remains complex. LLMs are trained on a variety of databases, which provide the language patterns they learn from. Some well-known free databases include Wikipedia and Common Crawl, while paid databases like LexisNexis and academic journals offer more specialized content. AI models, especially large language models, are powerful tools for generating text and simulating human-like communication. Understanding their training sources helps grasp their capabilities and limitations, and ongoing research is crucial to unlock their full potential. Continue exploring the evolving field of AI to better understand its potential and limitations.
So coming back to the black box idea, it's kind of actually very interesting because the black box phenomenon boils down to the idea that actually nobody knows how these models function exactly. And the funny thing that it seems like everybody is fine with that. Nobody is wondering like, come on, no, we have to stop using all these AI tools and we need to take a moment to actually understand what's going on there. First of all, we don't know how they function exactly, and we don't know what kind of data is used to actually train these models. There is some basic understanding of how the model functions. So basically, we explain that as making the next best prediction of the next word, which means that the model is actually trained to predict what is the most accurate next word that should be mentioned or written in the sentence. But that's a very basic understanding, because actually even if you ask people in these big companies which are building these AI models, many of them in their interviews, in their press conferences, tweets, etc., they actually claim that there is no clear understanding of how the model functions. And the funny thing is that it seems like everybody is fine with that. I am fine with that, and we should be fine with that because the artificial intelligence is bringing us with this amazing value. But overall, not even in terms of research perspective, there is a consensus overall in research today that there is a very limited understanding of how the models function, the LLMs function basically. We know the fundamentals, but we don't have a clear, perfect understanding of how the model comes into creating that amazing output and performing at that level of precision when it's actually interacting with the human being.
In this lesson, we'll define what the AI black box is. We'll then explore the lack of clarity in AI functioning, especially within large language models, LLMs. Next, we'll discuss consensus within the AI community regarding the challenges of understanding AI. Finally, we'll reflect on the broader implications of the AI black box for individuals and society. The AI black box refers to the idea that AI systems, especially advanced models, operate in ways that are not fully transparent. It implies that AI's decision-making processes are hidden or obscure, making it difficult to trace how inputs are turned into outputs. Large language models, LLMs like ChatGPT, are prime examples of the AI black box. LLMs generate human-like text through next word prediction, but the exact reasoning behind each output remains unclear. The tremendous size of these models, with billions of parameters, adds to the complexity of understanding their functioning. There is a broad consensus among AI researchers that full understanding of how advanced AI models function is not yet achieved. The lack of understanding is a significant challenge, as it impacts trust, reliability, and ethical considerations. The AI black box has implications for how AI interacts with individuals and society. For individuals, the lack of transparency raises concerns about trust and accountability. At the societal level, the black box effect complicates governance, regulation, and ethical AI deployment. The AI black box represents a significant challenge in understanding and controlling AI systems, particularly in LLMs. Ongoing research and discussions are essential to address transparency issues and ensure ethical and reliable AI use. Stay informed about the evolving nature of AI to better understand its potential impacts on individuals and society.
So coming back to the question, which AI tool should I choose? I will tell you my personal opinion. You might agree with me and some other people might disagree with me. Like personally speaking, I've been using mainly ChatGPT and Perplexity. Honestly, just because I think those were extremely performant tools, effective, efficient, affordable, and because I just feel comfortable with the interface. So you can totally use other platforms, other AI models. Doesn't matter because at the end of the day, as I explained it earlier, they all function the same way and they are all dedicated and designed to do the same thing, which is enable you to stimulate your full capabilities and enable you to actually take maximum utility of artificial intelligence. Now, we will have a separate video in which we will look at the technicalities and the details and the functionalities and the buttons and the different parts of the ChatGPT and the Perplexity interface, which, by the way, they are very, very similar so far. And for now, I would like to explain to you the rationale and the logic behind designing these interfaces in this way. So, first of all, what you need to understand is that these interfaces, they were designed based on dialogue. So what's going on here is that there is a conversation or a dialogue which is established between two parties. So the first party is the artificial intelligence, and the second party is me, myself as a user. And the interface is designed in a way to facilitate this conversation or this dialogue between the AI and the person. And the dialogue process is pretty straightforward, is that me as a person, I initiate a conversation or a dialogue on a certain topic by asking a specific question, and then the bot actually try to generate a response from me which he thinks it best fits my expectations and my aspirations for an answer. My friends, in this session we're going to be exploring together and navigating together the platform of ChatGPT. So we're going to be looking at the key features, the key elements that you need to know about to be aware of when using and interacting with the ChatGPT interface. So 6 key elements that you want to be aware of as a starting point for your interaction with the ChatGPT platform. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this tutorial in which we are going to be navigating and exploring together the platform and interface of ChatGPT. We're going to be looking at the key capabilities, the key features that OpenAI offers to us through the ChatGPT interface. We're going to be looking at what we can do through these key capabilities and features. Key number of elements before we go into each one of these features and capabilities and details. So first thing first is the text input field, which is basically this one here. And then we have the capability menu. And then third, we have the left sidebar. And then we have the new chat creation feature. And then the model selection bar. And last but not least, we have the account and profile management setting. Now, the most important feature of the ChatGPT interface is the text input field. In simple terms, this is basically where you actually ask your question. This way you provide instructions to the bot. That's where you write your prompt. And that's basically, we can say, your starting point for the interaction with the model. Okay, so basically here, I can ask my question or write my prompt or instruction depending on what I'm doing exactly, depending on whether I am just exploring or trying to acquire new knowledge about a certain topic, or whether I'm actually trying to solve a task or a problem within my work or study or business, etc. The second important feature we're going to be looking at is the capabilities menu, which is basically this menu here. Now, what is this exactly? This is the ChatGPT interface proposing to you some of its key capabilities. For instance, it's telling you, would you like to create an image? Would you like to summarize a text? Would you need some advice? Etc., etc. So it's proposing to you some of its unique and key capabilities. And in my understanding, I believe that the designers of ChatGPT, they are doing this because they're trying to give a hint, especially to the users who are not familiar with the capabilities of the platform. They are giving them suggestions of what they can actually do with the platform. But this is good, but we don't actually have to go through each one of these key capabilities actually to get the output from it, because just through the prompting, we can actually ask the model to provide us and deliver this kind of key capabilities. The third key feature that we are going to be looking at now is the left sidebar. Now, the left sidebar is this one here, as you can see on the screen, but I would prefer not to click and demonstrate the left sidebar for a very, I believe, valid reason, because the left sidebar, it shows or it lists historical conversations. So basically the conversations that I had with ChatGPT throughout the last period, throughout the last week, the last month, even the last few months. So for confidentiality reasons, I would prefer not to actually display my private conversations for the tutorial, but basically that's what the left sidebar allow us to do. Fourth feature is the new chat creation, which is a very basic feature. Basically, when I want to move from a current conversation that I'm having with the ChatGPT into a new one, so basically I just click here to get a new conversation. Feature number 5 is the ChatGPT model selection. So basically, if I click here, you will see the different models that I have at hand. Now, because I am subscribed to the Plus version of ChatGPT, so I have access to GPT-4o, 4o with Canvas, o1 Preview, o1 Mini, etc. So if you're not subscribed to ChatGPT Plus, so you will not have access to ChatGPT-4o, but you can have access to ChatGPT-4, which is very, very excellent and very close model to the performance of 4o. And that's, by the way, one of the key differences between the free version and the Plus version. So basically, depending on the kind of problems that I'm trying to solve, I might choose or select or rely on one of these models as opposed to the others. So for example, you might ask me, what is the difference between the 4o with Canvas as opposed to the GPT-4o? So basically this one, the GPT-4o with Canvas, it allows real-time interaction with the Canvas interface, which is very, very good for visual layouts and illustrations and frameworks, especially when you want to illustrate a certain concept or a complex phenomenon or a complex mechanism. It's a very, very useful tool to visualize. For coding, also it's very good. For writing, it's very good, but especially for visualization, it's a very excellent tool. o1 Preview, that's an amazing model which is basically specialized in reasoning, and that's where I would qualify its key capabilities. Feature number 6 is the account and profile management settings. So basically here I can manage my plan depending on whether I'm going for a free version, a Plus version, a team version, or an enterprise version. And then I can manage my GPTs. I can create my own custom GPTs. And basically those are my own AI agents. And then I can also customize my ChatGPT, which means I can provide custom instructions to ChatGPT so that they can obtain the answers in a specific way. And then there are other settings, including the preferences in terms of the language, in terms of the theme, in terms of the data privacy, the data controls, and the saving of the historical conversations with ChatGPT. So all these settings, basically they allow for a personalized interaction with the ChatGPT interface. But if we would like to obtain an answer from ChatGPT, we need to ask a question. So I'm just going to type a very basic question, say that I do not really know what is generative AI, so I'm going to ask the model to define the concept of generative AI. And then I would precise the instruction by saying generate response in 30 words. Excellent. See? So the model has generated the response for me in 30 words. Now, the magic starts here now. Now, if I would ask the model to read out loud with the voiceover the response for me.
Generative AI refers to machine learning models that create new content, such as text, images, audio, or code, by learning from vast datasets, enabling innovative applications in creativity, problem solving, and automation.
That's amazing. And then I can also copy the text through this button here. And then I can provide feedback. And that is very important. I actually need to provide feedback. If I like the response, I can give it thumbs up. Or if I am not fully satisfied, then I can provide feedback, thumbs down feedback, just to signal to the model that I'm actually not fully satisfied maybe. And then the model can regenerate the response for me. And one of the very powerful options as well is that I can ask the model to regenerate the response by using a different model. So maybe if I believe that the GPT-4o model is, especially if I ask, for instance, for a visual illustration of the generative AI key components, maybe the 4o with Canvas model would be a better option. Or if I am trying to solve a very complex mathematical problem, then maybe the o1 Preview with its unique reasoning capabilities would be a better fit for my answer. So here, this is a shortcut option into the model selection, especially when I want to regenerate response or ask the model to regenerate the response. We have come now to the end of our navigation tour. It was a pretty quick one because I believe that each one of these features deserves a video by itself. Whether it's the text input field, whether it's the capabilities menu, whether it's the left side bar with the historic conversations, whether it's the model selection bar, and the key differences between the different models, and also the different options and settings through the account profile management. Many things that we can, and I believe it deserves to be talked about and explored in specific tutorial videos for each one of these features. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.